Hi, everyone, and welcome to the Shrine of Anubis. If you're new here, welcome. If you've been here before, welcome back, and nice to see you again. So, for today's topic, I know I wanted to address last week. In the previous video, I did mention I wanted to address all of your questions today for today's video. However, I do know that in last week's video, I was addressing how do I know when Anubis wants a sexual offering. I did try to keep myself out of it. I did talk about myself a little bit, very briefly, but I try not to include myself too much, even though it was inevitable. However, he brought it up to me today while getting ready for this video that I do need to talk about myself. So this video is going to be the opposing perspective. Question mark? So if last week I talked to you about how do I know when Anubis wants blank, what about when I want something? And this is very embarrassing for me to address because, again, I'm not one to talk about my personal stuff with my connections, deities, whatnot, however you want to call them, energies. However, Anubis is about pushing boundaries and limits sometimes, and with your awareness. There is a difference between pushing limits and boundaries to help you and also pushing limits and boundaries to fuck you up. So in the sense of Anubis, he wants self-improvement. So he might try to trigger me at times or push me a little bit further for me to expand and to get over certain things. And one of those is embarrassment, or AKA shame. Sexual shaming due to religious background. Religious background, maybe in your family. Sex was seen with like bad eyes, something dirty, sinful, bad, evil, something meant to be used only to procreate, not for pleasure. Whatever the situation may be, in your case, it might be similar to mine, maybe different from mine, and that's okay. But Anubis wants me to go beyond the bullshit or belief systems, aka BS. Good luck finding out which one I meant here. Maybe both, I don't know. And the bullshit in this video is sexual shaming for being a woman who likes to receive pleasure. And it's interesting because last time in last week's video, I was avoiding to include myself too much in the content of the video, even though it did involve me directly. So for today's video, you might wonder, question mark? Maybe not. Maybe nobody asked, but here I am. Okay. You told us how you know when Anubis wants some. You told us the signs that he gives you, the physical signs, the psychic impressions here and there, meditation, blah, blah, blah. But what about you, aka me? How does it happen the other way around? How does he know when you want some or me? So, and you might see me trying to add a little bit of comedy or a little bit of dumb jokes or puns here and there, because that is my way of making an uncomfortable topic a more comfortable one to talk about. And this is very great for you if you want to talk about something with someone, but you don't feel trust or safe in speaking or talking about it with that person, but you do want to put it out there. So in my case, jokes and puns help me out a lot to reveal a lot of truth without really feeling too sorry or bad about myself or embarrassed or ashamed or anything like that. So you might encounter that in this video as well. So how does Anubis know when I want to have a sexual interaction with him in the form of a lucid dream, astral experience, or a physical thing involving self-pleasure, so to speak? Well, it's interesting because now I feel that I am out on the spot and I'm not sure how to properly respond to that. So I am very great at talking for others, like Anubis, not for myself. Which kind of brings me to when you want to introduce yourself to somebody, a potential partner or something, but you don't know where to get started. So that's my situation right now. I'm a little bit in a bit of a pickle, question mark, but we're just going to roll with it. So I am a very simple person. First of all, I don't ask for much, and when I do, it's very simple and direct, but always with embarrassment and shyness. How does he know when I want to have some type of sexual interaction with him, whether physically, with myself, or with him in the astral plane? It's very simple. I show him. Now, you might be wondering, how do you show him that you desire him? Well, considering that I've never been in a physical relationship with anybody, it's interesting to bring that perspective with the lack of physical experience on this planet by not having a partner. But it is as if I had a partner. If I am having an interaction with Anubis in the astral plane, for example, through a lucid dream or whatnot, or just being consciously aware that I'm not in my body and I am elsewhere, when I am interacting with Anubis, I approach him. He might be talking, he might be, which is rare, by the way. I know I mentioned this. He might just be staring at me, waiting for me to speak, which is 99% of the time. Anubis is waiting for me to approach him and talk to him. He wants me always to take the initiative with him. When he wants to warn me about someone, however, he is the one that speaks first and approaches me. But usually when times are chill and we're just vibing together, I am the one that approaches him and I am the one that talks to him first. So he wants me always to take the initiative and be the one to take the lead. I believe I may have referenced this in last week's video. When it came to the sexual aspect of things, he does like it when I take initiative, and then he might take over, but maybe not. So let's say that I am with him in the astral plane or a lucid dream, and he is simply staring at me like most of the time, just checking me out like, hey, what's up? I'm kidding. So I approach him, I say hello to him, I check out the vibe, I see if he is chilling or if he is looking a little bit stern, which is 100% of the time. I don't know exactly if he's happy or not because he's always very serious. Until, again, I start talking to him and then he opens up. And that's when he would say hi and things like that. And then we would interact. But then my how do I say this? My side tends to soften. My gaze tends to soften with him when I am relaxing, when I am calm, when I am open with him about talking and interacting, when I feel safe and comfortable with him. And at the same time, that also happens when I want to be a little bit flirty with him. And he immediately recognizes that gaze. And that's when he starts to respond to me in a sexual way. Usually, it doesn't involve speech, but it does involve physical actions. So if it's a lucid dream or astral interaction, he would usually pull me closer to him. And then, you start to talk a little bit softer, maybe caress each other. And that's when you start to have sexual intercourse or interactions or whatnot. Sometimes there isn't intercourse per se, but there is a lot of foreplay. That's one of the things I want to bring up with Anubis. He does love foreplay a lot. He does love to tease a lot. And that pisses me the fuck off because I'm not patient. I'm not a very patient person. And he has always wanted to teach me patience. And that's one way that he teaches me to be patient, which is to wait for him. At times, however, let's take it down to planet Earth. When I am here on my own, he's not with me physically, quote unquote. What happens? It's pretty much a little bit slightly different. I don't see him, but I do perceive him, energetically speaking, around. So, when I am the one who is in the mood, what I tend to do is I usually go take a shower. I get myself ready. I mean, first of all, I do get ready for myself. I love to feel soft and all shaven and like a goddess and like my hair washed and whatnot. I love comfy, cozy textures or rugs and blankets and everything. Despite being a masculine type of woman for over half of my life, I'm 28 now. For the past 2 years after going out my hair, I have been learning to become more feminine. And part of that is thanks to Anubis. And also my spiritual lover, Drake. Both of them have been helping me to tune into my femininity despite them being masculine energies themselves. So because of this, I have learned to appreciate small things in my daily life, like a nice candle, a nice shower gel with all the foam going on, soft textures around my bedroom or in the bed or on the floor. So I would usually get myself ready in the shower. However, there's been sexual things happening in the shower at times before my original plan of doing something sexual based for him outside the shower. And usually it's because he already is perceiving the energy. Something I want to say here is that they know already. You don't have to tell them because they can read your energy and they know. So Anubis technically already knows that I want him or that I want to offer him a sexual type of thing, like self-pleasure, for example. And usually in the shower, when I am either shaving or washing my hair or something, I do perceive his energy and what I believe are his thoughts, where he's specifically instructing me what to do. So I can either hold back, which I don't, or do it right there, which I always do. There's always an option. There's always a free will for you to do what you want. In my case, doing what I want means as soon as he tells me, I go for it. And usually things take place in the shower. which is why there is a pun going on with him and my spiritual partner, Drake. Hot showers can always get hotter. Uh, and it's a dumb pun, it's a dumb joke, but it gets the point across that indeed it does happen. Or, like Drake would say, hot showers are hot for a reason. And that's pretty much it in that regard. However, assuming that he teases me, leaves me alone, I do my thing in the shower, taking care of myself with my fancy soaps or soaping gels or whatever, or washing my hair, whatnot, and shaving and feeling smooth as a dolphin. He usually sometimes leaves me alone. And then when I get out of the shower, that I go to my altar, I sit down and I meditate, or I lie down in my bed and I meditate. Again, I do love soft textures, so think of soft, how do you call it? Velvet type of textures and things like that. So think of yourself enveloped like in this embrace of velvety goodness in your bed meditating. You feel so goddamn it cozy, especially if you're a girl or identifying female and you shave yourself. You feel so damn soft. Like, girl, those legs are popping. So silky smooth. Against the velvety texture, holy crap. So I'm a big fan of those tiny details in my day-to-day life. And when I meditate and my legs are smooth against the velvety texture of my bed, it's like, wow, I am in heaven. I feel that I am in a cocoon in the universe and that the universe loves me. It feels fantastic. However, in the middle of my meditation, that's when he comes in. And not in that sense, I know what you're thinking, not in that sense, but maybe. Again, there's always teasing before. There's always a buttload of foreplay. He is like that. So usually I receive a jolt of energy. I receive a sexual type of energy again in my solar chakra, solar plexus, and my sacral chakras before the energy starts to move downwards. That's when the energy moves downwards, it's when the arousal begins. So in the beginning, I do feel the energy in my centers from his side besides my own. It feels very different. I do feel the energies with myself, but when he sends me his energy into my centers, that's when I feel that they are becoming more, I wouldn't say empowered, but because that is not the correct word for it or term, but more active. Think of it as spinning wheels, becoming faster when his energy comes through. And if there is arousal already in place, it only intensifies to the point where I feel that I am about to have an orgasm without having to do anything, which has happened to me before with Anubis. And one time in 2011, walking out of the shower and just looking for my clothes, just by looking for my clothes, walking around my room, I had to stop and hold myself from the bed, from the edge of the bed, because the energy that he was sending me was so strong that I swear that I almost had an orgasm just by standing up and leaning over the bed to try to control the energy. That's how intense his energy can be. And usually, sometimes I can feel that about to happen, but it doesn't really happen because he wants that sexual type of interaction. So, usually, whenever I feel his energy to that point where my centers are feeling overwhelmed due to all the spinning energies in them and the energies like moving downwards and it's becoming way too much for me, that's when I usually begin the sexual interaction with him. Now, you might be wondering, how do you do it? Okay, we're getting into very dangerous land in here, okay? I'm not sure if I'll get banned from YouTube at this point. I don't care. But without trying to be so explicit with you, let's say using toys is very rare. Using toys is very rare because of reasons. So usually I do just use my hands. That's it. Why? In the sense, first of all, I do have toys. I don't always get a chance to use them. But second, Anubis is not really a big fan, neither is Drake, of me using toys for self-pleasure. And the reason why they say this is because they feel that to them, it's fake. And my interpretation of that is, oh, you're using a machine to stimulate you faster, to arouse you faster, and that's it. So to them, it's lazy and fake because I am taking the easy way out, quote unquote, so to speak, if I use toys. However, I disagree very much with them because personally, I've always been used to doing things old school. However, why not add toys to your life for self-pleasure or with a partner and just enjoy the thrill of it and the tingles, especially if it's waterproof? Why not take it with you in the shower and just have fun with it? Oh, now I understand why they said hot showers can get hotter. And it's the shower head. Anyways, I didn't think of that one. So, yeah, I do use the shower head many times, but I forgot that that's why they hinted at that. Okay, never mind. Going back to the main topic. Going back to the main topic, they are not against it, but they're like, can't you just do it naturally and just enjoy the sensations without having something provoke it in you? And I'm like, yeah, sure, of course I can. It's not that it's hard for me to orgasm on my own. It's just that it's so nice and lovely to have a toy with you. It's such a different experience from what you're usually used to do in your personal life, right? So, but it's very rare. It's very rare when that happens. So when it happens though, when I bring in a toy with me to my meditation session with Anubis, yeah, not so much meditation anymore, is it? Well, I guess it still counts because I am focusing my energy. Question mark? Checkmate. When I get the chance to bringing a toy with me, I do understand why Anubis is against it. There are times, though, when I climax more than once. One after the other. No waiting or anything, just a climax after another. This happened to me one time where I was about 2 to 3 hours self-pleasuring because it just kept coming. I mean, oh, puns intended. That was, however, with Drake, not with Anubis. Um, However, there are times when I bring a toy with me and it lasts only 5 or 6 seconds. That's it. And then I'm just sitting there disappointed in myself. I mean, I'm sure maybe you've been here before as well, or somebody else has been in this situation before, where 5 seconds later you're like, oh shit, what? I should not have used this in the first place. And that's when Anubis would be like, I told you so. So usually I don't really use toys for those reasons. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. It's fine. It happens. And it's interesting to speak about this so openly and publicly with you guys because I haven't really seen other people or heard other people be this open. I could be wrong. So if you do know of anybody else who openly talks about this type of thing and they're a pagan, let me know down below in the comment section because I am very intrigued, also scared. Well, I wouldn't say scared, but a little bit shy of exposing myself like this to you guys, especially because it's not so much the sexual aspect of it at this point. It's more like, wait, you have sex with a spirit? You have sex with God? Are you insane? You must be schizophrenic or some shit. But at the same time, I'm like, I've always been told that before being in the UFO community for 11 years. So do I still give a shit at this point? And my answer is leaning towards a very hard no at this point. No, I don't care. I just hope that the information that I am sharing here with you is very helpful in some way, shape, or form, and that it clarifies questions and doubts and concerns or fears that you may have. So going back to the topic, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. So usually I just try to keep it natural, just how they like it. And I understand. I understand why they prefer natural touch. Because according to Drake, he's told me before, it's not the same to have a machine than to have actual physical touch. And if you're attempting to channel my energy, I do want you to be natural with yourself. I do want your touch to feel like my touch. I don't want a machine in the way doing the work that I should be doing through you. Even if you're the one managing that machine or device, it should be you, not that. So because of this, I tend to also avoid toys, but there are times I'm like, you know what? I understand your point, but I want to enjoy myself a bit more and go hands-free. So usually, yeah, they don't really have a problem with it, but they're like, yeah, try not to rely too much on them. We do want you to keep it classic, natural, normal, and, so, yeah, it depends on the situation and the moment and myself. Sometimes they ask me to not use a toy. Sometimes they just don't give a shit if I bring one with me or whatever. As long as I enjoy myself, but I do understand their point of view in regards to how physical touch works and how energy works. And I do understand that an electric device or battery operated device may not be something that adds naturalness into something intimate like a meditation session turn into a sexual offering, but oh, there's technology on the way. Keep it out. What are you doing? I try to stay away from technology during meditation and even during self pleasure, if I can even English. So no porn, no videos, no pictures, nothing, no sexual audios to influence me and what I do. Just keep everything away. Just keep the environment clean from the electromagnetic field that devices can emit. And I also now understand why they may not be too comfortable with me using a toy and having something interfering, energetically speaking, in a way with the energetic environment of a sacred space like an altar and sacred moment like a meditation session turning into a sexual offering. I do understand why they're not a fan of me using things that have to do with technology. And sexual toys are a part of technology. They don't have to be a screen to count as a technological device. So, I do keep it natural. Sometimes I do involve a crystal wand. Shocker. I know, had to be a white bitch. Adding a crystal into her self-pleasure routine with Anubis had to be a white bitch. I'm white presenting, but I'm Puerto Rican. It doesn't happen that often though, either. But sometimes, in very rare occasions, when they don't want me to use a sex toy, my alternative is a crystal wand, a black obsidian wand. And I'm sure that after this, you're like, okay, I'm done, unsubscribe, bye. And that's fine. But using crystal wands in the shape that's comfortable for you is something that I have seen a lot of people do around. And honestly, I have my questions as well. I have my doubts. I'm like, wait a second, this is so weird. Like, oh God, this poor black obsidian, why? And so I have my own questions as well. Even though the crystal itself was programmed for that, I do still feel like weirded out because of what other people have said about people using crystal wands for that purpose. So in a sense, these are not my thoughts. These are external stories that I have programmed into my system. So they are program patterns that I have to deprogram from and liberate myself from the bullshit of the opinions of other people as to what the fuck I do with myself in my private life when it comes to self-pleasure. So that's another hint out there for you too. Like, maybe considering that your sexual shame, it's not because of you, but maybe it could be due to the bullshit of other people or belief systems from other people influencing you and your personal / private life / sexual life and what you do with it. We all have our traumas. Yours are different from mine. You might have personal traumas to overcome of things that may have happened to you personally, but you have to be observant if this is also being amplified due to the external bullshit of other people. So again, revising this circle that you're in and seeing whether they are helping you or screwing you over in a bad way. If spring is near, it's time to declutter. It's time to get rid of things that you no longer need, and that includes people as well. So I want to make a quick mental note to see if there's anything else that I am missing from this video. I don't think so. I feel that I covered a lot, and I apologize because this video is super fucking long. It's never gonna finish rendering. Oh my goodness. So, with all of that said, to summarize this video, can it be summarized? Nope. But in a nutshell, Anubis knows when I want the thing. When he knows. He knows before I start to know what I want. Second, self pleasure, old school. He's perfectly fine with it. He doesn't mind sex choice, but at the same time, he feels weirded out over me using a machine to self pleasure instead of doing it naturally, to take my time to feel all the sensations and enjoy the moment, to be present with myself and my pleasure. So he doesn't mind it, he doesn't really care, but he does appreciate me being natural about it and concentrate the energy more and bring myself into focus with my own energy and touch rather than relying on a machine to do so. And I just realized I've been having a scrunchie forever on my wrist. So I keep it natural. I do my best to be as present as I can when I am self-pleasuring for him. Sometimes when I am preparing myself in the shower, it happens in there. He just drops by energetically and he tells me what to do. And I'm like, okay, yes, master. And I proceed to do it. But sometimes he loves a good tease. And again, he loves foreplay a lot. There might be times, and I speak from personal experience. There might be times where he's gonna get it on with you. No foreplay. And those are the surprises that I love. So a quick note before I leave. I have had interactions with him in the astral plane where I wake up in the astral plane and I am lying down somewhere. And he's just there. Either going down on me or simply hovering over me and looking at me, waiting for my consent. And I'm like, what? Why are you asking me? Go for it. So, yeah, that can happen too. He does love foreplay. However, there might be times when he might skip it and just knock you out. So be prepared for both if you have that type of connection with him or with another deity that you might be working with and are having a sexual type of interaction with as well. Other than that, though, I feel this video pretty much covers it, and I apologize for the length of it. Pun intended. We all knew that was coming as well. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know what you think down below in the comments section. I am very intrigued of your thoughts. Any further questions that you have, I promise that next week I will address everybody's questions. No matter what Anubis tells me what to do, what to add, what to say, what other video to do. No, that's it. I will address your questions next weekend. And in the meantime, let me know if this video sparked any questions down below in the comments section, and I will address all of your questions, doubts, fears, concerns in the upcoming video. Before I let you go, do not forget to subscribe to the channel, click on the bell button, and click on see all so that you can get all the notifications of any future uploads that I'll be making on this channel. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye bye.